Hello everybody. It's real bloody late. It's 2:10 a.m. I'm real tired. I don't know if you can tell. I got these like bags under my eyes and my face is all like breaking out and stuff. I gotta stop eating so much bloody refined sugar or whatnot. Drink more of this, as I keep recommending in videos. Drink more water. Not particularly just Nestle type, but drink water in general. Stay alive, my friends. So I usually when I talk about movies, I like to do like the last video and like a bunch of them. I'm addicted to these top 10 videos. I love watching a series of movies and then talking about them because usually I'll talk the most about the movies that I'm most interested in. And I wanted to take some time to talk about this excellent documentary that I've seen this year. One of the best that was released this year, and it's called Who Killed Michael Brown? I believe it was written, produced, directed by, edited maybe as well by a man named Eli Steele. He's just done a marvelous job at really opening my eyes to something that I always had some little grain of knowledge about this, but to dive in depth into essentially what was the start of the Black Lives Matter movement, I thought that this was a very eye-opening, very fantastic, well-informed, well-researched documentary. And yeah, I would highly recommend this to everybody. And essentially the reason why I wanted to talk about this too was because recently, as I think a lot of us have been, I've just found myself so alienated from people and from friends and family because of politics and the way we view politics and the way the mainstream media drives us to sort of buy into politics, essentially. This film really opened my eyes even further than they've been opened before when it comes to politics and the disgusting amount of race baiting that these liberals keep injecting into their political campaigns. I never considered myself to be one way or another when it comes to politics, but seeing a movie like this, it genuinely makes me realize that I've been hoodwinked this whole time by the liberal media and by liberal politicians and by all these celebrities out there over God knows how long pushing this sort of propaganda. Just because they say it doesn't mean they actually mean it. Like all of these riots destroying people's lives and businesses and essentially dishonoring the memory of these people that died. And this documentary does a far better job at explaining what are now my feelings towards this than I ever could. This documentary is it's so well done. And it essentially just further encapsulates, at least from my perspective, I know many people probably disagree with me. And for that, I would say give this movie a chance. Let it wash over you. Think about it. And I always love to, and I'm having a tough time looking here because I feel like this is a very tough topic, and you got to be careful with what you say these days. And earlier today, I was very upset with this with this video I saw. I've been getting upset recently a lot more than I ever have when it comes to politics. People like AOC going on Twitter and saying we should put Trump supporters on a list. So we should essentially dox all people that support Trump, just for that. Like, they support this party that I'm opposing, so therefore they are evil. And they want to destroy their own country in which they have homes, they have family, they have friends. They want to basically burn it all down because they're angry. And I've never seen anything good from I've never seen anything good come from anger, come from being angry. Outside of maybe like a really great fighter like, say, Mike Tyson or whatnot. But even then, you look at a guy like Mike Tyson and that's his job, to beat the hell out of people in a ring. A UFC fighter's job is to, do whatever it takes to take out your opponent in whichever way he or she can. And they are paid to do this. And essentially that's the message of this marvelous documentary, What Killed Michael Brown. The message of this documentary is that hard work pays off. Revenge gets you nowhere. I think that's a universal message that we all should know. As universal as it is, it bears repeating. And just I'm so happy I watched this, because initially I was very I almost didn't want to watch this because I was like I've just been so upset about politics recently, and all the terrible things that have been happening, and now we're looking at a potential Biden-Harris presidency. So that means, if they actually get certified, that means more race baiting, more liberal media hiding what these warmongers are going to be doing for the next 4 years in third world countries that nobody gives a shit about, because they don't care. The media doesn't care to tell you that these people are getting killed, and yet like one person dies and it sets off a firestorm, and rightfully so, at least in the case of George Floyd. Rightfully so. I think that that was a terrible thing, absolutely. But to destroy entire buildings over it, to destroy so many lives, to destroy so many small businesses, it just makes me sad that it's come to this. It's made me sad for a while now, but I never really knew how to put it in words, or in even perspective, in a certain sense. I was just left speechless by this documentary. I honestly was just absolutely floored with even though it goes through all of these like terrible, awful events that will forever shape our history. It leaves you with this compelling sense of hope that there is still decency in this world. There are still people out there that don't put political agendas first. They put their families first, their community first, their friends first, their own lives first, which I think a lot of these figures in mainstream media when they report on these people of color getting killed, they almost do it in a way where Eli in this film describes it as, like, they almost tell it in a way where they're making these victims invisible. They're putting their race first, as opposed to just, you know, this was a person, this was a good person. It's always, this was a black man, this was a black woman. It's never, you know, like, they never, everything about the person always seems to be on the back burner. It's always about somebody's race when it comes to these liberal media outlets these days. And I'm just so happy to have seen a documentary that fully describes how upsetting it is to constantly have this repetitive narrative regurgitated over and over and over again, to the point where, yes, we got it. I think we all understand racism is bad, but we got to work on solutions to try to figure it out, not just riot, not just burn down buildings, not stabbing people, not hurling insults across social media. Recently, I did this video about Kamala Harris, and like in the title, I did it all caps lock. And I kind of blame myself for this, because like doing the caps lock sort of thing on a video, especially political one, doing it all capitals, bold, like attention grabbing words, and I call her I call Kamala Harris in the video, I call her Kamalama Ding Dong, because this is a woman who throughout her history has been very, very bad to the black community, and she sort of uses her own race as a crutch for that. She incarcerated an innocent man. There's this wonderful documentary, like this mini documentary from Vice about this man that you could look up. I'd highly recommend you watch it. I unfortunately I can't remember the man's name, but I watched that, and I was just absolutely like, the more I learned about Kamala Harris, the more I grew to really hate her and everything that she represents. And same with Joe Biden, because this is a man that the liberal media, and this is a woman that the liberal media keep propping up as heroes, and they are anything but. And I totally understand why, you know, people wouldn't like Donald Trump. Quite frankly, I don't really care about the guy all that much either. I don't trust the guy. I don't trust any politician. He can say all he wants that he isn't a politician. He is. That's just a fact. But I think he's doing more good than they're willing to give him credit for. And I think constantly demonizing this guy is really just driving people crazy. And what I was alluding to earlier in the video here, earlier today I was watching this video from these wonderful guys on YouTube here that I'm such a big fan of. They call themselves the Conservative Twins or the Hodge Twins. I forget what their YouTube tag is, but either Hodge Twins or Conservative Twins they go by on YouTube. I follow them on Facebook as well. And they did this video today, or yesterday I should say at this point, on the 17th of November 2020. They did this video on Ilhan Omar, or Ilhan Omar. I'm not sure how to pronounce her name. Quite frankly, I don't really care, because she hasn't earned my respect. In fact, she's earned the opposite, my disrespect. I really despise people like these that constantly spew this racial rhetoric. And they don't do it to better anybody. They don't do it to try to sit down with you and make you a better person, make themselves a better person even. They just sit there and they preach this propaganda all day long. you know, these people are bad, these people are this, these people are that. And basically what really upset me today was that she referred to these Trump rallies as, I think it was Nazi rallies or something along those lines. Or no, she said they were Klan rallies. Relating Trump rallies to KKK rallies is one of the most destructive things I've heard recently. And I thought like it was bad with AOC going on Twitter and saying we should put Trump supporters on lists. They somehow these far left crazies just keep outdoing themselves when it comes to their propaganda. Like we're talking about literally an entire half of your country, you are willing to just write them off as the most racist, irredeemable people in existence. Now, when I'm saying liberalism, I don't mean every single person that is on that side. I'm not going down that rabbit hole of generalizations. I don't like generalizations, but when we're speaking politically, we got to be clear about what we mean. When people take politics so seriously to the point where they're willing to comment on my video, hey, why don't you come down to DC and call Kamala Harris Kamalama Ding Dong? You know, like this roided up bastard commenting on that Kamalama Ding Dong video that I did. Just like basically implying violence to me. It's like, why in the hell would I go to DC? DC is the last place, if I ever went to the States, which I haven't yet. I don't even have my bloody passport. But if I ever went to the States, you can be damn well sure that the last place I would ever fucking want to visit is Washington, DC, one of the bluest states, blue ballest states I've ever heard of in my life. Right next to California on the blue ball level. Just absolute ice cold, ridiculous people with these ridiculous ideas of socialism about how like everybody needs to be treated the same, and yet like us here on our pedestals and our ivory towers, we're gonna live like kings and queens. Meanwhile, all you peasants get to live the same. You know, you get the same amount as the next person, and that, in my opinion, is fascism. And that's basically what this documentary is all about. It's about pointing out how liberalism is fascism now. And it is, absolutely is. It's this insidious form of it that they try to mask as, no, we're doing good for the black community. We're doing good for fill-in-the-blank community. Because that's basically what it is. It's just a check mark. It's just a checkbox to these politicians and these media outlets. It's just like, we gotta pretend like we're doing something good, and yet we're just doing this for our own self-interest. We're doing this to, you know, like ship jobs overseas and stuff like that. And I'm just getting sick and tired of the rhetoric, in all honesty. I'm getting sick and tired of all of this rhetoric. That's why recently I've wanted to put my voice out there, because I know a lot of people disagree with me, and quite frankly, I don't really give a shit anymore about what people think. I'm going to speak my mind, and I'm going to stand by it, and I'm not going to let people push me around on it anymore. I'm sick and tired of that. I used to be one of these guys that just had, my cat's like probably jumping at a bug there or something, it looks like, but I feel like I used to be one of these guys that used to go along with the bandwagon, that used to just do all these stupid things just because everybody else was doing these stupid things. And going along with the herd while they're all going off the cliff is never a good idea. Never a good idea. Get out of that herd mentality. Be your own person. Think the way you want to think. Don't let others dictate how or what you should do. And just be yourself. I mean, it's just as simple as that. It's just as cheesy as that, and just as generic. But it's true. And I hope as we go along here, I hope more people start to see that there is good through hard work. You know, hard work is really what drives us, what motivates us. Like personally, I hate this sitting at home thing. I used to be so content with it, and I still am. Like I'm one of those people that I'm content living in this one bedroom, small little like rear unit. You know, like it's the walls, like the paint job in here is a mess. The ceiling's like a mess as well, and that's the other thing the guy was saying, like, oh, like your when I had my beard, as he called it, your weird beard, like just like just insulting everything about me, like trying to get under my skin. And it's people like that are genuinely evil. Like they're bullies. They are literally looking to get under your skin, to try and dictate the way you feel. And when you ask them a simple question like, why do you feel this way? Are you a Kamala Harris super fan or something? Like what's the deal here? Why are we going with these petty insults? And mind you, I can't be a hypocrite either. I referred to this guy as a roid raging bastard because he is. Because he is. He's a piece of trash, and I hope he gets what's coming to him, just like any other person that spews this rhetoric on the internet. I think they're pure evil, and I have no sympathy for them. But I should. I mean, I should learn to forgive these people, but I'm at this stage in my life now where I know I should, but I just, I am a bit angry in that sense. And yeah, I feel like I keep, I'm always learning something new about myself, and I feel like it's important to sort of talk about it. Talk about it, try to figure yourself out, listen to other people when they criticize you, because even though I do hate this guy for his mean-spirited comment, and there's somebody else too that left a mean-spirited comment, but I forget because theirs was so forgettable that it's just like, whatever, another person with their stupid petty insults, you know, like the reason why I'm calling this guy roid rage bastard is because he literally does everything in the book. He made fun of my weird beard, you know, basically implying violence. Come on down to DC with that sort of rhetoric I was spewing, or the insults towards Kamala Harris that I was spewing. Like call my place dirty, you know, which it kind of is, admittedly. Like I'm not the cleanliest guy ever, you know. Like I see cat litter on the floor here from my beautiful girl, kicking it all over the place. You know, I got like papers all over the desks here, empty water bottles over there. My sort of table here where I got my laptop and my computer monitors like filled with stuff like scissors and keys and post-it notes and pens and Sharpies and all that stuff, coasters. But you know, and as I was saying, as I was alluding to, I mean, as much as I do despise this guy, at the same token, I do appreciate the fact that he would leave such a comment, because if anything, you know, it helps me in a strange way sort of improve myself. And I do hope that the guy improves himself as well if he happens to be watching this video. I mean, like, you know, I doubt it, unfortunately. You know, like, it's really hard to get that sort of, like, change out of people. You know, usually they just sort of make their mean comment and then just cower off, like run away with their tail between their legs. Even a big tough guy like this, like from his image, he looks like this roided up, big 300-pound brainless nut job. who would probably shank somebody in a crowd over there in shithole Washington, D.C., blue ball state that it is. You know, and yeah, screw it. I don't mind hurling insults at somebody that insults me. I'm not that, you know, you get what you deserve. You know, I didn't do anything to this guy, and yet he felt the need to insult me, so fuck him. I'll insult him back. I'll insult anybody that wants to insult me and talk trash to me. You know, if you have the audacity to deal it, you better be willing to fucking deal with the consequences. And, you know, guy like this probably doesn't care. If anything, if he's watching this video, the ponce that he is, the putz this moron damn well is, he's probably sort of laughing in his seat right now as he backslaps his girlfriend. Probably a closeted homosexual, in my opinion, since he he alluded to the fact that you are literally a small guy, like a very little guy. And I'm like, yeah, I am an angry little boy. Maybe not a boy, I'm 27, so I would call myself a man, even though I have this like sort of baby face going on, so I know I could definitely pass for being a a preteen or whatever. But you know, I have no problem in admitting, you know, like, yeah, I am a little angry child at points when it comes to making videos like that. But, what does it matter to you? I mean, why are you watching the video if you don't like it? You know, like, you could just move on, you know, rather than just watch the video and, like, thumbs it down, hate it, and spew all this negativity. It's like, whenever I try to do negative things, I always try to spit it at people that deserve it. I'm not trying to be a bully, but when I see these people in positions of power that stand over others and sort of have the whole damn media on their back, you know, in their wagon, sort of like preaching along with their propaganda. Whenever I see this sort of thing, especially now, I can't help but want to call it out, because I feel like there's this cowardice in people nowadays to just go along with it mindlessly. Whatever the media tells you, just go along with it. Rather than hearing both sides of the story, I always try to listen to both sides of the story, even if I can't stand listening to the other side. I find the leftist media in particular so damned insufferable these days. Most of these guys think they're funny, and they're not. You got pricks like Stephen Colbert going out there every freaking night getting paid millions of dollars to tell jokes, and yet he's the least funny person. Like, once in a while he'll happen to say something like, okay, that's like, okay, I guess I can agree with that on a basic level. Yeah, that makes sense. But most of it's just like posturing and bullshitting around with you and pretending like they're getting emotional, but they really don't care because they got tens upon hundreds even of millions of dollars in the bank account. So what the hell are they even still making these fucking shows to begin with? They don't care about you. They don't care about making a positive difference. And I'm sick and tired of people going to defend these guys just because they're super diehard fans. It's like, stop idol worshiping these people. Stop idol worshiping Hollywood. You know, like, you can love movies just like me. You know, like, I love movies. I love talking about them with you guys. But I fucking can't stand these people, these morons, these dimwits that think celebrities are holier than thou. It's like, oh, Chris Evans had this opinion about Donald Trump, so he's got to be right. He's Captain America. But Captain America is a fictional character, and he's nowhere near like whatever fictional status that Captain America is. He's really good in that role, and I like him as an actor. But like hearing some of the politics, and like, he's actually one of the more reasonable ones in my opinion. Like, he was talking about, I'm not sure if he's done it already, but he was talking about like having a political show where he talks to like both sides, like Republicans and Democrats. And I thought, like, man, that sounds interesting. Even though I don't agree with the guy politically, I at least like him from a personality stance. So I'd be fascinated to see that. You know, and And gosh, like even though like I find some of these celebrities insufferable with the way they constantly preach about their politics. No, I don't know whether or not I hate them. I can say I hate them, but I don't know these people. If I met them in real life, maybe I'd love these people, and maybe I'd be upset about the fact that I say, oh, I hate so and this and that, blah blah blah, because you never really know somebody until you sit down, have a cup of coffee, maybe even a beer, have a nice conversation with them for an hour or two, maybe even 3 or 4. You know, because some people can just talk for hours, and I love having talks with people. I love having my friends over here or going out with them and just sitting at a bar and just talking with them. That was always my favorite thing about going out to the bars with my friends. Like as much as I loved hitting on the girls and sort of like dancing and singing karaoke up on stage, my favorite thing most of the time was always like talking to my friends and just having these long-winded conversations where they test my knowledge and like teach me something that I hadn't pondered before and call out my call out my nonsense, you know, because nobody's perfect. And the more you're willing to admit that in yourself that you're not, the better you are, in my opinion. I I don't like bolstering myself up. I don't like propping myself up saying that I'm getting better and better, but I feel like we owe it to ourselves to tell ourselves that we are getting better and better with each passing day, rather than the opposite. Because if you keep going down on yourself and you keep trying to just do the same thing constantly, it's insanity. It's insanity. Get that out on paper. Get that out in video form. You know, I've always wanted to be a successful writer, but recently I've just, you know, I've sort of transitioned that into like doing videos because I find I'm much better at just talking, laying it out to you guys. And like obviously these videos, like they don't do too well. I got just under 500 subscribers on this channel, but again, I don't care, because like this, in my opinion, is almost like a form of therapy in a sense, you know, just getting it all off the shoulders, all this garbage, all this like thought, like just verbal masturbation essentially. It's just like you're always like spewing this propaganda and this rhetoric, and people are going to disagree with you or they're going to love you for it. And it's, you know, it's one way or another. Either way, you'll never win unless you try. You know, you'll always there's a quote in this marvelous movie that most of this video has just been me going on this tangent here, but that's how powerful this movie is. It'll get you to think about your position in life, how you feel about modern politics, even politics of the past. Obviously, I would give this film 10 out of 10. I think this film's masterpiece. I think this is one of the best of the year. And it actually reminded me of this other film I saw earlier this year, or I believe it was this year that it came out. If not, it was like late last year in 2019. But this movie, and of course I did a separate review for that movie as well, but that only got, I think when I last checked it, it got like 3 views on YouTube. And it had like 1 upvote, because like I'm always upvoting my own videos because I'm like, whatever, it might as well, you know, just to make it sort of already in that positive threshold. One of these days I may like just like I may just do the opposite. I may thumbs it down or something like that, just to be funny, just to show that, hey, I don't really care about the numbers, you know, they aren't really there at this point anyway. But I'd highly recommend that movie. It's called The Last Tree. That movie sort of is like the dramatized version of like what this film is essentially about. You know, that film was very powerful. It's, you know, about this young kid growing up in tough times and whatnot, and like learning from the wrong crowd, you know, getting into smoking weed and just like doing all these bad things and not realizing, you know, that, hey, you're wasting your potential doing all this. And it's a marvelous movie. I don't want to spoil too much about it. I'd say go watch that movie. It's highly recommended. Another 10 out of 10 for that masterpiece called The Last Tree. Marvelous actors in it, marvelous cinematography, everything about that movie was fantastic, and same with this documentary. Trying to think if there's anything else I want to talk about. I think I've basically gotten to the bottom of what I wanted to say. I think I started this at like 2:10 a.m. I'm now looking at the time, it's 2:45. So what's that, like 35 minutes worth of me just rambling on. Trying to think if there's anything else to say, because like it always happens. I think I always say it too, but usually I'll end a video and I'll go, darn, as soon as I do it, it's like I missed that one important detail that I wanted to talk about. But yeah, I think at this point I think I've basically said what I wanted to say. Basically I just I want people to think for themselves for a change is essentially my message to you. I mean, I want you to think for yourself rather than let this mainstream media, these guys that are paid millions of dollars to lie to your face and spew this propaganda at you. I just want you to not just do this generic thing of do your own research. I want you to look at both sides. I want you to dig deeper than just this surface level, and then you get angry and then you lash out, and at that point there's no reasoning with you. Like at this point I feel like if I was to have a conversation with somebody on the left, I would be able to have a reasonable conversation. But if they were on the furthest possible left, to the point where if I even mention a topic that triggers them in some colossal, mind-blowing way, they will just lash out either violently or start screaming, shouting at you, and that's no way to converse with people. You gotta have a bit more decency, you know, a bit more like reason, you know, like say, hey, I could be wrong, but I'm willing to have this conversation with you. Meanwhile, you're just willing to hurl insults at me, and I can only take so much. That's why I brought up the roid rage moron who left a comment on that Kamalama Ding Dong video, because screw her and screw him. And screw anybody that you know, they don't have anything reasonable to say to you. Just everything they say, there's like, and again, I'm bringing up this moron because I've been thinking about him and his stupid comment and other stupid ass comments like it for the past few days, and how evil these people are, because they never have any sort of logical criticism for what you have to say. Never. It's never as simple as, I disagree with you because so-and-so. It's always, you have, like, you look ugly, your place is a mess, you are a little, like little boy, come on down to DC so we can kick the hell out of you. It's always this sort of, like, violent, aggressive, vile, cruel sort of nonsense, and I'm so sick and tired of it from these monsters that pretend like they're on the side of nothing but good. And like I just want to punch all these stupid fucking morons in the face with all of their fucking political overblown bullshit. And I hate them. I hate them. I used to just excuse it as like whatever, but now I don't mind saying it. I hate these people. I wish them well. I hope they do get better. I hope they can at least take a breather. You know, like, and at least think about it. Because I may say these angry things, but, you know, again, at the end of the day, I could maybe one day, for all I know, meet this guy. And, like, maybe he'd meet me and, like, hopefully he'd think, like, you know, this guy ain't too bad, you know? But, yeah, who knows? Who knows? Yeah, so that's 40 minutes here of me again, just rambling on to you, but I've said it before and I'll say it again. I love talking. I consider it to be a form of therapy rather than just like, you know, screaming at an empty wall, waking up the neighbors, you know, and just bottling it up, because it's never a good idea to bottle this stuff up. You gotta let it out. You just gotta you gotta be angry once in a while, you know. It's okay, you know, like it's okay to contradict yourself. It's okay to be a hypocrite sometimes, but you know, like we gotta hold these people in positions of power to a higher standard than we hold ourselves. You know, we just gotta, because they are the ones who have so many people under their influence, to the point where if they're telling people, hey, go out there and like literally just treat Trump supporters like they're Nazis or like they're KKK members. If you got people spewing this rhetoric, like AOC and Ilhan Omar, like that type of rhetoric, in my opinion, should get your ass sent to jail. Should get you sent to jail. Because you are basically implying, hey, these people are irredeemable, go essentially kill them. Theoretically, just go out there and just murder these people because they are not human. They are not like you. You are good, they are bad. And that is such a god-awful message. And if YouTube wants to censor me for saying that, they can go fuck themselves as well, the pieces of trash. Censoring people because of their political views. Huh, what a joke. What a joke. And if Biden does officially get certified, I could see YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, all the like doing like massive surges. Like I may have to like clear out my laptop, save all my videos, at least the political ones, and like upload them to a different video sharing platform, because I wouldn't be surprised if it gets to that point where especially with Biden as president, which would just be the the worst thing ever. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. The media is trying to put like all their sprinkles and frosting on top of him now, but if he gets in office, I warn you, keep your eyes open and be ready to criticize him for when he does something bad, rather than just pretending that every socialist bullshit, pseudo-socialist thing that he does is complete and decent. You know, because Obama was the same way too, and they always love to pretend that Obama was like just the best president ever, again, because of the race baiting thing. Oh, he's black, so that means he's got to be treating the black community like gold, right? And yet, apparently, like just 4 years of Trump, the black community was doing way better under Trump than Obama. And Obama had 8 fucking years. Same with Biden too, like 8 years. Mind you, the VP doesn't have much of a role, but they still got a role. And Biden, in general, has been in politics for 47 to 48 fucking years at this point. And he's done nothing but detrimental things to people of color constantly throughout his career. Literally making a crime bill, going after these people, locking them up for longer time than they deserved. And these fucking morons that like pretend he's so much better than Trump love to just like turn the other eye. There's this marvelous little show, you may have heard of it, it's called Twin Peaks, and in the last season they got this like horseman guy, this woodsman guy they call him, and he's literally played by a Abraham Lincoln look-alike. His face is all covered in soot and ash, and it's very creepy. It comes from the 8th episode, and he basically goes on this radio show and he says, the horse is the white of the eyes and dark within, drink full and ascend. And essentially what it means, and I'm sort of stealing this from this channel on YouTube called Twin Perfect. He does this epic, monumental 4.5 hour breakdown of Twin Peaks, like as a whole, and it's marvelous. So a slight spoiler about Twin Peaks, but it's not too hefty at least. So basically, a lot of Twin Peaks and a lot of David Lynch's work is like very like symbolic. And so like the horse is the white of the eyes and dark within. So basically it's you turning the other way from a crime because the white of your eyes, you're turning away, which is the most evil thing you can do. So, and the example he uses, and essentially that David Lynch is using, is that Laura Palmer's mother is committing the most evil thing by ignoring the abuse of her daughter. Like especially when you watch Fire Walk with Me, you'll see that like all of this abuse is going on, and yet somehow you don't notice it. Like you can come up with the excuse, hey, she's being drugged, how could she know? Like she's constantly being drugged by Leland, but she can't be drugged all the literal time, like without knowing something, you know? Like obviously you have some sort of knowledge, and it's that sort of like turning a blind eye to it, like looking away from the crime and ignoring it and doing nothing about it, that is arguably more evil than the actual perpetrator of the crime, because you're sitting there and you're a coward. You're letting this crime happen. Do something about it. Like, do that thing. Like make that choice. Like, don't live with that regret. Go out there and do something if you see wrongdoing. Like people have that in them to stand up to bigotry and evil. And that's you know, I'm not trying to claim that I'm trying to do something like that with these videos, but I want to get it on video to say, you know, like I feel it's important for me moving forward and becoming a better person that I stop turning a blind eye to these things that I consider to be evil, to media outlets pushing this negativity around towards people almost in this consumable TV dinner sort of way, pushing this sort of propaganda to the point where people are just scooping it up and they almost fetishize this sort of just evil thing. So essentially, go watch Twin Peaks. Go watch David Lynch Twin Peaks. Go watch that whole series and like start from season 1, season 2, then watch Fire Walk with Me, then watch season 3. Maybe before then, watch What Killed Michael Brown from 2020. Fantastic documentary from this year from Eli Steele, if I remember correctly. I believe his name is Eli Steele. I should have paused it at the last credit on the film here, but I'm pretty sure it's Eli Steele. If not, I'll probably correct it in the comments or in the description at some point. But anyhow, you guys, this has been enough rambling and mad lad ravings from this bad rad fad. I don't know what I'm going on about anymore. I'm losing my mind, I tell you. This stay inside forever thing is killing me inside. But not really. I'm still alive, just like you're still alive. You're watching this video right now. I thank you very much for making it to the end with me. And you know, again, as I always say, as all the generic YouTubers say, I'd love to hear your comments. You know, even if you don't feel like sharing them, do it. I mean, do it. Sometimes I'm afraid to make videos like these, but hell, I still do it because I want to. And because I feel like I gotta step out of my comfort zone with sort of making videos like these. I want to test the waters, you know, see what people like, see what, you know, sort of clicks with people. No, I don't like the idea of just like making videos to sort of make a profit and get the most viewers, like follow whatever the niche is, like look at all the stats, you know. I feel like I probably could, if I really wanted to, I probably could get like a bunch of subscribers just blindly following me because I'm like, yeah, pro-Trump all the time. Trump is the best, you know, and just like doing all that stuff. Like, as much as I love guys like Tim Pool and even Jimmy Dore to a certain extent, I do feel like there's this air of pretentiousness to these guys. I do feel like they, like, as much as I like them, and same with Steven Crowder and guys like that, I feel like there's kind of this like pro-Trump like mentality about them, to where they're not really willing to call out the negative things that Trump has done throughout his career. Like, they'll do it once in a while, but it's like a little it's like a little teaspoon's worth, and the rest of it's just like look at all this other good stuff that he's done, and it's just like all the like pro-Trump people are just clapping, going, yeah, yeah, yeah. And they'll probably hate me now for just saying that. Like, screw you, I was supporting you up to this point. Now thumbs down. It goes from thumbs up to thumbs down. Screw you. Screw you, Jonathan Abbott. Yeah, maybe I should cut that part of the video out. So if you notice this little awkward jump from just a minute ago, then you know why. Or maybe you don't know why. Maybe I did cut it out of the video because I was too ashamed to share my opinion about the fact that I just don't care about politicians. I just don't like them. I just never have. I never will. I'll never like fully embrace one side over the other, but I genuinely feel like I've found my comfort zone at this point. Or not my comfort zone, but my I don't know. I found sort of catharsis, I guess, in just realizing recently that I do agree more so with the right than the left side of the aisle when it comes to politics. So that's essentially the reason behind this video, the reason why I wanted to make it. You know, I don't think I've ever talked about a film this much. I probably have, actually, because usually my videos go for pretty damn long, but yeah, I love films like this that make me think and get me talking to the camera for an extended period of time. And now I'm just delaying the inevitable. I'm telling myself, just close the video already, John. Come on, you've already said your piece. So thank you guys for watching. You're the best. Thank you for sticking with me. If you stuck with me for this long, I appreciate it. And I'll see you next time. Take care out there, everybody.